right, guys, how's it going? This is Dave. We are back. A little bit of a weird start to a 60,000 mile review. I'm like at 62,000. As you may or may not be able to tell, I'm doing an oil change, or at least trying to. And the bolt, sorry, I look a little crazy here. The bolt head for the drain plug is completely rounded off. All right, like I've been having this problem periodically over the last few times where it's just very hard to get a socket on there cleanly. And, well, can't get this one off. It's really rounded. I got some special sockets on there that are still rolling off the point ahead. So I went and got myself a brand new drain plug, but it's not, going to do me any good if I can't get the one that's there off. So I'm glad I started early. I'm glad I waited till Sunday when it was a little bit warmer, because it's about 50 out today as opposed to 15 as it was yesterday. So I'm going to be working on this for a while. Hopefully when I come back, it'll be some better news. So stay tuned. We'll get this review underway pretty soon. All right, guys, I'm back. Truck's draining. That's water. That's not oil right there. That's water. I won. I always win. Now, General Motors, I'm giving you a big fat F for this design. I do not understand why in the hell you would make a bolt head that it has rolled off at the top. Here's what you got left. This is what you got. And I don't know how well you can see this, but this thing is gnarly now. And I think what ended up happening was when I was getting my first oil change, they probably ugga-dugged it on with all of it. Maybe a nice impact gun or something like that, because it's a little awkward to get in underneath there. But these guys never lose. So I was able to finally get a hold of the head nice and tight, gave it a little inch, felt it move, and we were good to go. So I want to show you, this is beat to hell. Here's the brand new one. Take a look at the head on this thing. You see how the thread rolls off really aggressively? How the hell are you supposed to not roll this thing with a normal socket when the inside of the socket is tapered? It's rounded before it enters into the actual meat of the socket. So you barely have any engagement on the points. I'm gonna get behind here and see if I can kind of get it so that it's zoomed in. There we go. Look at that shit. It's insanity. Like the head's rolled down, so really, like, hard to get it. But you have like no corner engagement on that thing. So if you don't have it perfect, you're going to roll right off of this guy. So I'm giving you a big fat F, General Motors. This is dumb. You could have extended the head a little bit more on this to make it a little easier. You're making enough of these trucks, and you can't tell me this is the only drain plug that this thing fits. So fail. So this is one of the things that really bothers me about this truck. And I'll get into the main review shortly after this. But we're draining. I'm going to take a 5-minute breather because I had a lot of pucker factor in there, because if I couldn't get this off, I'd be in really bad shape since I was at 0% oil life. But I was able to get, the, which we call it Mobil 1 oil, the ESP X2 that I always get. And for the folks that are interested, here is the General Motors part number. Got it off of Amazon for $7, 242-330-99. That's going to be for a fresh oil drain plug. I will be buying quite a few of these because I no longer trust normal means, but I do believe that it was initially damaged by the dealership who did my first oil change and put the wrong oil in, if you remember way back then. So, all right, so we're just about in business to start this review. Yeah, it's super dusty. That's what happens. It's got a 60-something thousand miles on it right now, and it looks like I hit a bird or something. Not sure what's going on there. Super dirty under here. Definitely got to clean it. But I prefer not to touch anything since it's not broken. Everything seems to be working pretty well. So I'll be changing the air filter momentarily, and definitely doing the transmission flush. Still on the fence, like I said earlier. I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm going to do that myself. We'll see. Doesn't seem to be all that involved. I can't do it when it's freezing cold out here because I'm too big a baby. Like right now it's in the 50s or like super high 40s. So it's pretty manageable to get stuff done here. So let me swap this oil in and before I start it up. But here's the oil that I use. It's the other approved General Motors oil, ESP X2. As you can see right there, plain as day, Dextos D. It's between this and the other one. You know, there's been a couple videos that I've done that have used other oil when I was in a pinch, never had an issue. This one seems to be getting more and more proliferated, especially at auto zones, and Advanced Auto Parts tend to carry it on the shelf. So believe it or not, I found 6 quarts of this on the shelf at Advanced Auto Parts. And then I went over to AutoZone and they had 8. so I was able to steal the one I needed, and I left 7 quarts on the shelf for somebody else. So worked out well. I should have bought both, but you know, it's at the AutoZone when it's all said and done, it's almost $90 between the two of them. But let me finish this up and we'll do the review. All right, YouTube, welcome back. We are finally on our way here doing the 60,000 mile review. It's really almost 63,000. Was it 62,750? Yeah, so you heard my rant. I generally don't try to complain about things too much, but that is just flat out ridiculous. I'm going to adjust this ever so slightly. Get my fat head like right in frame there. But there's no excuse, GM. Like, I mean, take a little bit of time to just understand how a socket engages the head of a bolt to know that if you are not 100% perfect and you're not putting a ton of pressure straight down on that head, you're easily going to slip the ratchet, or, you know, slip the socket or slip the wrench or whatever. So I ended up buying a new one. Yeah, it's only like $8 to buy it, but it's just stupid that I even had to do that. I've got 60s and 70s muscle cars, even 2000. My SS, I never had that problem. Like, I mean, why get so lazy now? But, you know, rant over. Let's go front to back. It's not all sunshine and rainbows on this truck, so I'll give it to you straight. Kind of going front to back. Engine, still love it. It's done very well for me. I'm averaging, you know, right around that, like 28 to 32 miles per gallon area. I've done as well as 32 on a few drives back and forth from work. My journey from Maryland is almost over. So, you know, this truck is going to actually get a much needed break after a while. It's been steadily going back and forth, very reliably back and forth. That, you know, to the point where, you know, I kind of just overlooked any of the little annoyances, but there definitely are some things going on this truck that are a little ridiculous. As far as, you know, some people got on me for complaining about the suspension noise. This truck is odd. I've never had this happen on any of the trucks or, you know, cars for that matter that I've owned, but like the rear suspension. Actually, you know what? You know, it may not even be just the rear suspension. It might be the front suspension as well. Make a ton of noise. And, you know, maybe it's just a matter of me getting a like a chassis lube or something like that to quiet things down. But, man, for a truck that's, you know, about 2 years old and, yeah, it's actually about 2 years old. It's right around the time when I got it. So I put on just about the amount of miles I expected. But man, there's the creaking and thumping in the suspension. It hasn't changed the way it rides, but also, you know, you heard me bitch about the brakes. Like, it's a little wild when you're just driving and I come in after a long drive. It may just be the, you know, the material that the brakes are made from. But man, oh man, it's like they're squeak, 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 you know, like just squeaking like crazy. And then, you know, it'll go away for a while and then it comes back. And I told you, I checked the pads, you know, a couple months, you know, a month or so ago, and it still had like 75% of the meat left. It was ridiculous. So, I mean, kudos to, you know, the team, you know, the folks who made the new pad materials and, you know, braking materials. You know, I am not really beating on this truck beyond just the normal wear and tear of a daily commute. So I'm not towing a huge amount. But the fact that it sounds like it's not, you know, it sounds like it's 160 or 260,000 miles when I'm driving it. Transmission, haven't had any real issue
with that. The only thing that, we're at the 60,000 mile mark. It's time for me to do the transmission flush. So I will do that since I'm not going to be driving down there for too many more times. I'm going to wait until it gets a little bit warmer because my commute's going to go from a 210 mile round trip to so it's like roughly 1,000 miles a week to let's see, be about, I want to say 15, 35, so like 65 miles a week. So that's a huge difference. A lot less wear on the truck. So I fully believe that this truck, I could get this thing to last much longer. I won't get to like the whole belt replacement thing anytime soon, hopefully. But I do need to do the trans fluid change on that. So I'm debating on whether or not I really want to do that myself or have it go, take it to GM. But, as I was bitching about earlier, I can't really trust technicians that much anymore because I've had my front bumper ripped off on my SS. This whole issue, an inhuman amount of torque on that bolt. Should not have been that tight. And I happened to slip in to get one done last time around just because I just didn't have enough time. So I gave them the materials, and then they ugga-dugga the bolt down with the the impact gun, as my guess, or a ratchet of some sort, air ratchet. But anyhow, I'm bitching too much. I'll continue to go down the list. I think the other major thing that I'm going to have to do, and I'll show a picture of it right now, is for the fuel filter. I got about 65% left on the fuel filter. The plastic housing is, I got the right socket for it, but since it's plastic, and I'll take the blame on this. I should not have probably tightened it up as much. So I'm just as guilty as a technician. I kind of went, snugged it down, and I'm wondering if that was too much, because the next time I tried to take it off, the plastic housing, like the same exact thing that happened on the bolt underneath, rolled a little bit, and the plastic kind of wore a little, which, I'm just going to replace it with the Duramax store. D-Max store has a metal housing that's both for like the 6.6 liter Duramax and the 3 liter. So I'm just going to get that. I'm going to be done with it. I show it here. I'll show a link in the description. They it's like $100 for it. I'm going to get the new filter. I'm just going to replace it all at once. Those two things are kind of like the things you're changing the most now. And also, this coming Friday, February 10th, I'll be going to get some new tires. Well, I ordered the tires. I'm going to get the Falcon Wild Peaks. I think it's AT3s, I believe, are the ones I was looking at. I'm going to be getting them out. I'll let you guys know what I think of them. They're a bit louder from what I can tell from the tires I currently have, which were awesome. 63,000 miles, I could probably eke out a little bit more. But because we really haven't had any type of like bad snowy weather, I am a little nervous that we're going to get dumped on in like late February, December. I'm sorry, late February, March timeframe, when we get, those giant blizzards. So we may not get much snow throughout the season. Then all of a sudden we'll just get absolutely dumped on. Oh, there goes the Hellcat. So yeah, but otherwise, that aside, maybe they're minor nitpicks. I think it's kind of dumb that it's, you can't easily maintenance stuff. This guy is wandering into my lane. Pay attention to what you're doing, dummy. Minor nitpicks, but overall, everything else has been pretty darn reliable. I'm not really too concerned that I'm kind of driving beyond the 60,000 mile recommended maintenance schedule for the transmission. It's been pretty rock solid. I really haven't had any trouble with it. So kind of going around the outside of the truck, that's the kind of typical General Motors paint. Has taken a beating, and it's chipping. It's looking pretty rough. So I think at some point I'm going to have to get a little bit of like paint work done and get all the chips fixed, and possibly clear bra the front, just because I didn't do that, and I probably should have. But it's a truck. I use the hell out of it. It's it's messy inside of here. I think the rubber mats that General Motors gives us is great. So I am pulling in to get the truck washed. And yeah, bad Davey. I use the Valet Auto Watch. All right, so she's good and washed up now. Sorry for that little break. So, like I said, engine, love it. Transmission, love it. Overall truck towing capability, fuel mileage, of course, I love it. I had mentioned, the creaking and things like that with the brakes. Just very, it's very off-putting for a truck that costs this much and is relatively new. It shouldn't be making noises like a 200,000-mile truck. Minor nitpicks maybe. But it is kind of weird because I get concerned that maybe that it's a much larger problem that it's leading to. So in any event, interior really, it's not obviously the upgraded version that it comes in the new, like the 23, 22, 23 and onward trucks. But I don't have a problem with it. I'm using it as a truck. It gets dirty in here, like I've mentioned before. I gave it a little cleaning. I got to give it a much more of a clean, but it's winter, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. I am, however, going to have to get tires, like I said. So I'm getting the Falcon Wild Peaks AT3s, I believe, is what I had picked out. Not cheap. It's going to be a little about $1,300 installed. Mounted and balanced, but I am looking forward to having that. And then, what I'm going to do as soon as the track's open, I'm going to take this thing down the drag strip. All right, and I think I may just be an idiot and take it to the autocross track too, just for you guys to get a laugh. I think everyone else will get a laugh. They'll think I'm an idiot, but I figured, what the hell? I might as well take this thing around it. We'll throw it in four-wheel drive and auto and see what she does. I'm not expecting very good times. I'm also expecting to probably hit every single cone that's there. But what the hell? It's good TV. So that's really all I got, guys, on this one. I've mentioned, the body's taking a beating. That's General Motors paint, but I can't really blame them. I didn't do like a clear bra or anything like that on the vehicle. So she's got a lot of chips. So at some point, I'm probably going to have to do something. And it's got a couple of those rogue little dents that probably could be pulled from PD, just having like a PDR type of repair done on it. But overall, guys, I'm still in love with the truck. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. It's just kind of asinine that it has these problems. Oh, and by the way, I did not mention this. So here's my Mr. Negativity. I have noticed a bit of a pattern, but I'm getting that P27... I think it was P2C7A code. It's that emissions-related code. I'm getting that a lot more often now, and it clears out just like all the other ones. But I seem to be linking it to when I'm driving. This is an inordinately long night, but I seem to be able to link it to cold starts when I'm leaving from Maryland. So it's like pretty cold out, and I just fire it right up, throw it in drive, and go. That's bad generally. Across the board, you really should give it a minute or two to warm up. But, at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, I want to get home, if you know what I mean. So, I think I just need to, I found that if I just let it warm up a little bit, it goes away. It has not manifested itself or, just really beyond that initial code. I think it has something to do with the way that the exhaust is oriented. A viewer had mentioned this, and I started taking a closer look, and you can see some of the brackets are not like the clamps around the exhaust, because it's a ball receiver type of setup. They're not necessarily oriented correct. I haven't really given it, I haven't really made an attempt to adjust it at all, but it's very possible that they're developing some sort of leak and you know, by the time the truck warms up, that closes up, and it's not an issue if you're not really leaning on it. But like I said, the code happens. I clear it out. The only really, you know, inconvenience that's caused by that is if you have an check engine code, your truck will not auto start, so you won't be able to do a, you know, click your key fob in the morning and warm it up. So you know, I just been using my laptop to reset. It takes 2 seconds, but I think, as stupid as this sounds, instead of trying to investigate, trying to fix it, I'm just going to get a real cheap Harbor Freight scan tool, throw it in the glove box, and be the end of it. But that is not the way you should do it. But, you know, I haven't been able to get it to spread beyond just the few instances. I think from the last time I had it and I had mentioned it, I probably had it maybe 4 more times in, I'd say, about a month period. But it never really, like I said, never went beyond that. So it is what it is, guys. So at the 60-mile review, I'd say somewhere between 60, 70,000 miles, I would expect you, you know, do your transmission flush. I'm on my, like, 80 bajillionth oil change. And I got a fuel filter change probably coming up here. I would say, you know, another 10,000 miles, something like that. I'd probably be due for one. It's like at, I want to say 60-something%. And then I think, like I mentioned, trans flush and tires. so it's going to be time for the tires, like I said. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think beyond that, guys, you know, I'm still a thumbs up. Sorry for the shake here. The road's pretty bumpy that I'm on, but I'm still a thumbs up for this truck, guys. I know this was a bit of more of a negative one. I was complaining a lot, but I want, you know, like I said, I'm trying to give you guys both sides of the coin here. It's not always great. This truck, though, has really not let me down beyond the, you know, it really has not let me down behind, you know, just there's some codes and things like that, but it's still, you know, been treating me pretty well. I'm debating on whether or not I want to get back into maybe possibly modding this truck now that I'm closer to home. It's been my very, very reliable daily driver. I'm thinking maybe we start talking about a lift, going up on some tire size. Maybe we do some off-roading, like, you know, aside from the drag racing. We'll see. I feel like doing some stupid stuff with this, but I don't want to make it unreliable, right? Because it's my daily. But regardless, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you listening to me rant. I appreciate you, you know, sticking around for the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that button. Hit the like. Helps me, you know, get part of that algorithm. I'm trying to start posting more. I keep saying that. It's just been a lot going on in my life recently. And, you know, it's been taking precedence to making the videos. But I love doing this for you guys. I try to be as real as possible, which is why, you know, I'm not all like, you know, hey, guys, you know, I'm not that type of crap. This is, you know, me and my impressions of this vehicle. So, take care and have a great day. See you next time.